Hello everyone, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk entertainment. Oh, it's after the game. We wanted to do our initial reaction for tomorrow morning, and it's the 26-16 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What to say about the game? I predicted 35-17 Steelers. I don't think that anyone who really sat there and handicapped the game and looked at the game and looked at the roster knew this game was going to go any differently than what the score was. It's not an indication that the Giants are horrid, and it's not an indication that the Steelers are going to the Super Bowl. But that defense, and we've said this before, the Giants have a tough road to hoe right now because they have 3 top 10 defenses in the first 3 weeks. But there were some good things, there was some bad things for the Giants, and there was some disturbing things. Let's get into the disturbing things. That offensive line. Oh my goodness. Where to start? Let's start with Cam Fleming. Where's Matt Perret? Just put him in. And you want to know why? Because I don't want to see him go against Khalil Mack and anyone else in Chicago. And I've said it a million times. Cam Fleming has never won a job in the NFL. He's always been given a job via injury or now via opt-out with Nate Solder. So Cam Fleming, yeah, he looked slow. He looked overmatched. And yes, I understand it is against the vaunted Pittsburgh pass rush, but wow. I mean, that was just bad. Other part of the problem with the line, Nick Gates. Nick Gates at times at center, I have rarely seen a center get overpowered or outplayed on certain plays as much as Nick Gates did tonight. And again, like I said, I am not saying that Nick Gates is a bum. I'm not saying we get rid of Nick Gates. I'm not saying that we start Spencer Pulley. I am saying that if we are going to have him as our center, we are going to run into growing pains with him. And this was one of those nights. Barkley could not go anywhere. And if you took a look, a lot of that pressure was directly up the middle and directly over Gates. So like I said, it's his first NFL start as a center. I'm not pulling a ripcord on Gates, but I'm just saying we kind of knew this was going to happen. And then if we take a look at Willow Hernandez, he as long as he was blocking straight forward, he was good. We tried to pull him a couple times. He looked slow. I mean, it was not even funny. I felt bad for Daniel Jones. Now, Daniel Jones did have time at certain times in the pocket, which I was impressed that they actually created a nice lane for him. And like I said, I was impressed with that. Andrew Thomas, I thought he had a good debut. I don't think he was overmatched. I think he played well. Kevin Zeiler, I think we know what we're going to get from him. But the other parts of the line, we have some work going up against the Bears. We have some work. We need to figure out some things going up against the Bears, because Barkley cannot run the ball 15 times for 6 yards. And where was Wayne Gallman? Can we get a Wayne Gallman sighting, please? I mean, I think that was And I did say this, and I did point this out, that if Daniel Jones threw over 20 passes in this game, we were going to lose, and he threw 41. Daniel Jones, listen, you have a 19-play drive. You cannot throw an INT in the end zone. You just can't. I mean, you can't. You cannot. That demoralizes the team more than anything else. His other interception was another bad interception to Watt. That was just a bad interception. He looked good at times, Jones. I think a lot of it was the rush. He was only sacked 3 times. But like I said, he's got to still protect the ball. He didn't fumble. 2 hands. That was fantastic to see. But even, like I said, turnovers also come in the form of interceptions, and you can't throw those 2 interceptions. You really can't. I mean, especially, like I said, there was no margin for error against the Steelers, and we kind of proved that. Yeah, some other things that was a little concerning. Corey Ballantine. Yeah, all the big plays seem to go on to Corey's side. But you know what? Again, we knew we were going to have a problem at the CB2 position. The dude that we brought over from that we signed off the street. I'm just flustered because you know what. You look like you're going to play well for a little bit, and I knew the wheels were going to come off the bus. But like I said, it reminded me somewhat of a Shermer game. You got your garbage touchdown at the last 2 minutes, and we go from there. Did the defense play hard? I'm not sure if the defense looked good again, but like I said, the problem was as soon as Big Ben knocked off the rust after that going into the half, I knew we were in trouble. I thought we had an opportunity with him being as rusty as he was, and he basically showed it, that we were not going to, that we may have a chance to keep it close. And like I predicted, we were going to be close into the fourth, and then we were going to lose because of the fact that I think we were just going to be overmatched if we couldn't run the ball. And Barkley not being able to run the ball, that was just... I don't get that. I really don't get that. Yeah, they were in the backfield sometimes like they knew the plays. I mean, that had to be disheartening for Saquon. I mean, you can't... I mean, that poor dude, I mean, it's like, huh... I mean, and he only had, 6 catches for 60 yards for 10 yards a carry when he had that nice 38-yard run. He's got to stop the hurdling. I thought Devin Bush was going to plant. I thought Devin Bush was literally going to grab him out of the air and plant him into the turf. I know he's trying to get the extra yards, but we need him. So he's got to start. He's got to stop the hurdling. Also, I was a little concerned about the defense. How do you let Benny Snell Jr. run for 113 yards on 19 carries for 5.9 yards a carry? I mean, you hold James Conner to 6 carries and 9 yards for 1.5, but how do you let Benny Snell Jr. gash you for 113? And I can't even say the defense was gonna be gassed, because if anyone's defense should have been gassed, it should have been the Pittsburgh Steelers, because they were on that marathon drive. I mean, I mean, like I said, to me the defensive line, of course, is coming into this, we thought was going to be the vaunted presence. And you know what? I am not hitting the panic button because of the fact, like I said, this is game 1. This is the first game of the season. So you know what? We're going to have our goods, we're going to have our bad, but this is game 1. And like I said, you're going to have some guys that are going to start blasting. If they lose next week, they're going to have some guys that are going to be blasting Judge, saying, well, they left it all on the practice field at training camp. No, you know what? It's the first game of the season, so we have to take everything with a grain of salt. Peppers. He had some good plays, he had some bad plays. You take the good, you take the bad, and there you go. You got Mr. Peppers. He looks good sometimes, and then he gets caught out of position, like on some of those big runs and some of those pass plays. Yes, he's very electric returning punts, but I also don't want my starting safety returning punts. That is a very dangerous situation to be in. If we get into the receiving core, outside of Darius Slayton, there wasn't really much there this week. Evan Ingram just looked totally lost. I mean, Darius had 102 yards, 2 touchdowns, 41 yard catch. Sterling Shepard had 6 for 47 for 7.8. CJ Board had a couple. Caden Smith had 2 receptions. I mean, you know what? I mean, the problem is this is a bad litmus test because of the fact that it is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is beyond approach. Their pass rush is scary good. And like I said, the line only giving up 3 sacks was fantastic, but you know what? Giving up a sack is not the only indication of poor line play. The ability not to run anywhere, that to me was even more distressing than the fact that Daniel Jones had some issues with the pass protection. It's funny. Our old buddy Leonard Williams, almost doubled his sack total from last year by getting 1, which is good coverage sack. we only got one other sack from our old buddy Dexter Lawrence. Again, like I said, it was more of the fact that I find it interesting that Big Ben early on, he was getting pressured, and it looked, and I really thought we were going to get to him. And then we let him run for that first down. I mean, oh my God, Lorenzo Carter. How do you let Big Ben, who's 497 years old, go past you? And I see him, I see Carter motoring, and I'm like, oh my God, how did that happen? Blake Martinez is good as advertised, if not better. Total 12 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. James Bradbury had an up and down game. Still played well. He had 2 pass defenses. He played well at times. He also gave up a couple big plays. But you know what? That's neither here nor there. But he like I said, Blake Martinez, good 3-down linebacker. Very surprised with Blake Martinez how much speed he had sideline to sideline. Especially since the fact that we didn't really see him because of his injury, his foot injury. But very, very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. I was very interested in that. Devontae Downs, not much saying about his first start of the. He did recover a fumble, but I think that was on the kickoff. That was on the muff punt. Had 1 tackle. I mean, it's one of those things. Like I said, we can't use this. I don't want anyone to get so up. I don't want anyone to get down. But I also don't want people to sit there and go, oh, well, you know what? The Giants played harder and they looked better than they did under Shermer and McAdoo. No, Shermer and McAdoo had some good games. Shermer and McAdoo also had some games where they were, we got the garbage touchdowns at the end. If this was Eli Manning, you would hear the fact that, oh, that was a garbage touchdown in the last 2 minutes to cut the score. Because that's what you always heard about Eli. They just cut the score with Manning. But you're going to hear everyone say, oh, no, this was awesome. This was fantastic. This was this. This was that. No, they Logan Ryan had also a quiet game. He had 4 tackles. You didn't hear his name being bandied about much, One of the things that I did find even really more distressing, like I said, is the tackle for losses. Pittsburgh had 11 tackles for losses. 11. That can't happen. The line needs to get figured out. Like I said, I am not going to sit here and bash Joe Judge. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I told you so. I'm not going to do any of that because you know what? Like I said, it is the first game of the season. Were there some good things? Yes. Were there some bad things? Yes. Were there some horrid things? Oh, God, yes. But like I said, this is a young team. And this is a young team that needs to learn to play and they need to learn to win. I had no indication that they were going to win this game. And I even told someone, this reminds me of a game from last year. We keep it close for a little bit. We go into the 4th quarter and then we lose. And then we lose. We start losing by an extended amount. Then we get a garbage touchdown at the end and everyone gets excited. I'm more excited about some of the play of Andrew Thomas, Blake Martinez, James Bradbury, how our defense played in the first half going up into the final 2 minutes. And like I said, and the way Daniel Jones played. I laughed because when Daniel Jones took off in the middle of the field on that one run, the first thing I thought to myself was, I say, you know what? They can't let Daniel Jones run up the middle like that. And he runs up for 13. But like I said, if anything, I thought we were going to have an opportunity when Big Ben was playing. Like I said, Big Ben would have been a year tomorrow, or today, which is Monday, that he had literally not played in the NFL. So I mean, it's like I said, the rest was going to be there, but let's not get too excited about some of the things we saw. Let's not get too excited about some of the things we didn't see. It's game 1. It's a good start. I would like to see the offense find some continuity. The motion and the movement and everything that Garrett's trying to do, I think that's fantastic. It didn't fool Pittsburgh. I don't think it's going to fool the Bears. I don't think it's going to fool the 49ers. But you know what? It's a good start. Jones has got to learn not to throw those interceptions. He only averaged 6.8 yards a play, so we got to go downfield more to Darius. Hopefully, like I said, Golden Tate didn't play tonight, so we have to we got to hope we get Tate back, we get our full complement back, and then we'll go into Chicago, see what we can do. and then we will get another sample of what a Joe Judge team is. We got to see the bounce back, and we'll go from there. Who knows? We can go 1-1. But again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. We'll do a better wrap-up show Monday night after we have more of an opportunity. Like I said, this is just the Tuesday morning, the day after show. We just wanted to get our initial reactions. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could like, if you could subscribe, if you could ring that bell, I think you know what that means. That'd be awesome.